What is up, podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Anthony.
Hey, what is up? It is me. It is not Nate.
And Nate.
It's me.
And Nate.
Yeah.
And me. Also here.
I decided that time I would pause after each one so you could, people would know who your voices are. Because everybody knows who I am because I start us off every week. And I always say my name is Tony, but you guys don't always get to do that. So I took a new tack today.
What if you listen to every episode and you're sick of us doing that?
Well, thank you for listening.
We're going to keep doing it.
Tell me if you wanted me to do something different. DMs are open.
Hey, DM us if you want Nate to kick off the episode.
He did back in the day. So did you.
I did.
We
know.
We took turns.
In the demo days.
And we took takes too. Several takes.
I forgot about that, dude. It was like a rotation. Like, oh, you're up this one.
Yeah, who's up this week?
And
It's
you're
Nate.
like thinking about it.
Week.
Yeah, that's where like the NPR thing came in.
You did last week, but that's not coming out for a few weeks. Who's up?
Yeah, those are the days. And then at one point, you both were just like, Tony, you just do it. It's like, okay. And now I've got the same fucking thing every week. So if you want me to do it different, let me know in the DMs or in the comment section. We're down.
You got to pay to hear me or Twan do the intro at this point.
There's going to be like a remix album of us, like all the outtakes and all that. Yeah. I'm sure we still have it all. Well, maybe not. I don't know if we recorded those.
No, we did do a blooper. We've done a couple bloopery type episodes that you can hear some of those, but they're back a ways in the catalog. We did one last year. I can't remember. I don't think we did.
Know.
The year before we definitely did. But there's a few back there. If you're looking for, a half an hour, 45 minutes of us just fucking up and laughing, it's a good time. Listen
and enjoy. Music Pod. If this is your first time, if you're one of those people that we're just talking about that doesn't know who we are, music podcast, album deep dives, interviews. If you're a longtime listener, you're sick of that spiel. But tonight, So Long Astoria, the Ataris, we'll get into that in like 3 or 4 minutes. But first, I was thinking of this time frame because obviously it's a nostalgic album. And I was thinking, what were your not listening habits back in, so this came out in 03, but how did you listen to music? Because there's a camp of people that are going to listen to this episode that were not around. I mean, maybe they were alive, but they were not listening to music. How were you listening to music? What was your routine? Was there stores you hit up? Was it CDs? Was it tapes? Was it car stuff? Was it, dare I say, mini disc?
I remember mini discs. That was that was more 2000, 2001 for a select few that had them. Remember, our buddy Adam had one, and I would listen to that in our woodcraft class a lot. And shout out to Adam wherever he is. I do miss him. But that's how I first learned about Deltron 3030. It was on a mini disc.
Oh, right.
So, yeah.
And the question is, how the fuck did he hear about them?
Yeah, and then put it on a mini disc. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Wild.
Dude, it's so funny thinking about the mini disc player because it was so mechanical. It was like you could hear the moving parts.
Yep.
It was like, really what is this thing? Is this thing really the future? Like, it's noisier than a cassette player. Like, are you kidding me? There's like cranks in there and stuff.
Well, and didn't a couple, I couldn't name any artists off the top of my head, but I think a few artists released records on just mini disc to like kind of jump into the times and, lost to time now, but kind of cool in the moment.
I'll say this. If you have those, they're worth big bucks. And I know that because I bought at a yard sale like 20 years ago, probably. I bought a brand new Sony mini disc in the new in package.
Wow.
Like
nice.
$10, sold it for like 150 back then.
Wow.
But there were artists. There was some like classical music ones, and those sold for big bucks. It's all short print,
Yeah, there weren't a lot of those made, right?
But it's funny, like they took the fucking cassette and the CD and were like, we can't come up with anything better. Let's marry these things.
Yep. Make a small CD.
Well, and they jumped on the whole, mix your tape thing. You could get blank mini discs ones. And make, because my brother actually had them. Now that I think about it, he had a mini disc player, and he would make mixes and would quote burn songs off of CDs onto the mini disc, which is kind of, I don't know, now maybe counterintuitive considering burning CDs was still a thing.
Yeah.
But God, what an interesting time in advancement in technology or not, because remember there was also dual disc, which is like a CD
you
thing.
Flip it over too. Yep.
Dual
disc. It's like, I don't know how I think it shows
with
how
teeth. 9 Inch Nails with teeth was a dual disc.
Yeah I guess there was desperation on like, fuck, man, we just got our ass kicked by peer-to-peer, like dual disc, mini disc, whatever it takes. Like
enhanced CD.
Yeah, it was that weird late 90s, early 2000s, like the world that we grew up in where the internet had started but didn't know what it was going to be. Yeah. And stuff was just going to get fast and happen quickly. And, you know, technology was just going to go ham. Now we're, you know, doing this once a week to talk about all those times. I was go to the Bull Moose and buy CDs and throw them in the CD player in my 1994 Nissan Sentra, which I think I mentioned fairly recently. And I put an aftermarket CD player in it. A buddy of mine who I worked with at the shoe store, he put it in for me. I gave him $20 and it was awesome until that car died.
Was that the only way you obtained music?
I think I probably at one point in college might have done another thing and it had a computer that was pretty full of stuff, and then put it on an iPod in like 2000, and I think I bought an iPod Classic in like 2008 or 9, and yeah, and had that thing pretty chock full. I still have it too. I don't know if it works very well, but
I was a big CD binder guy, as you know. Like I was the CD binder guy back then. I was thinking I had, so MP3 players were out in 2003, believe it or not. And I don't know if it was an 03, it might have been 04, but I had a little Nike MP3 player, and it had no interface. It was just buttons.
Wow.
and the thing is, it had you remember memory sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had like an 8 megabyte memory stick. You could fit like 3 songs on.
Yeah, that was basically all it was, right? Just a little memory stick that you stuck. That was like the iPod Shuffle. It was just this little memory stick you stuck into the hard drive and threw on like 10 songs or 30 songs if you could. And then you had the buttons and nothing else.
And a small vinyl collection too. I remember getting records from my dad, but at yard sales and at Newbury Comics. I think that's where I got the Rage Evil Empire, the Battle of LA, the original press. Wasn't a huge collector, but I was into it then.
Do you know just how much, by chance, how much those were? Those Rage records, were they like in the 20s?
Had to be, right?
I think it was under 20.
Yeah,
wow,
it's
no
$18,
kidding.
$22, something like that.
I mean, to put it in perspective,
yeah,
I remember buying 7 inches at shows in 03, 04 for $3.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that shit for sure.
Yeah,
because it was crazy. It was like the other merch, like, oh, I'm gonna get a shirt, and yeah, I'll get one of those too. Fuck it, it's like an add-on.
Especially for $3, like buying a sticker today.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like upgrading popcorn. Fuck it. I'm not gonna eat it all. It's like I'll never listen to it, but
Do you want to put the Reese's Pieces in the popcorn? Yes, go ahead, do it.
Wait, did you say Reese's Pieces?
I did. Yeah.
Drink.
I've never actually done that, but the first thing that popped into my head. So
no, dude, analogy king over here. Fuck.
Food analogies, Nate. I'm on your block. I'm on your corner, bro.
Bring it back. Yeah, I'm with you guys. CDs was definitely my thing. Buying them and burning them. Well, yeah, you admitted to it. Burning them from legally purchased CDs.
Allegedly.
It's like the tape thing back in the day. It's still within the bounds of legality. And I had an MP3 player too. I don't even remember what brand it was. I remember it was the size of a cassette, and similar to yours one, it like barely had any memory.
Was it the Diamond Rio? Remember that?
I can't remember the brand. I remember it was so shitty that it was not intuitive at all, and the software like that it came with was outdated by the time I opened the package. So like nothing worked. Yep. You know, it was like fuck.
There were no forced upgrades back then.
2001, baby. Was it a Nomad? Do you remember the Nomads?
Oh, that was the big. That was like the.
Yeah,
that was the cool one.
That's like this shit can hold your whole collection, which it couldn't. But I think that's how they pitched it.
Yeah.
It was this, and it looked like a Discman, so it like wasn't.
It did. It was like the size of a CD player. It was massive.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that thing.
Our buddy Mike in Texas had one, and we would cruise around in his dad's Dodge Durango, listening to whatever we could fit on there. It was awesome.
Yeah, I figured that'd be fun. Yeah, like this, because this record, we'll get into it. It's a time travel exercise for me, is what it was, and I had vivid memories of like this era, and it got me thinking like, yeah, it was in that kind of weird stage of like cassettes were kind of gone, mini disc was there, CDs obviously there, the digital thing, iTunes came out in like 04, I think. It wasn't even out, but the downloading was definitely real back then.
We lived in a weird time, man. Like we came up in a very influx time.
So, long Astoria. So, do you want to get into the album?
Yeah, let's do it.
I know we're talking all the technological stuff.
I'm taking them back. I'm taking them all back. Let's fucking go.
So were you guys fans? 03, Song Story drops, Columbia Records, major label debut, all that jazz. Were you guys fans of them at the time?
I was, because of you. I think I burned the previous record, Blue Skies, Broken Hearts, Next 12 Exits. I burned that off of you, Anthony, earlier in high school. And then this drops the spring of our senior, right before spring of our senior year. So I was aware of the band and into them at that point, and was very excited for this record in the moment. I remember being stoked, being excited. We were hanging out a ton. I know you and I, with our buddy Ian, our buddy Sella, a lot. Listened to a lot of music in Ian's room, driving around, going to the beach, all that stuff. So this would have been a record we listened to a ton in that time frame.
Great record, Blue Skies.
I'm trying to think if I got this off of you, because I don't think I had the physical record till later, which I actually got from our friend Rob, who got him from the radio station, obviously. But I don't remember buying it, and I don't remember it being burned, but I do remember getting it late. So I think I was somewhat a late bloomer, but I loved the singles, and like you were alluding to earlier, this was part of a major scene, so there was all this music coming at us left and right, and a lot of the times it's hard to keep track of. Like, man, like I'm listening to this one's on deck. And if you don't have the physical record, it's kind of takes a kind of a back step. So when I finally got it, I got into it for sure. Like having the actual record, having the actual CD, and like digging into the liner notes and stuff like that.
I don't think young people realize that. Like if you didn't buy
it's lost on this generation for sure.
It's lost, and it's no fault. It's not a shade thing. It's just a reality.
You gotta like you're not, you don't have it in your hands. You're not looking through the CD booklet, looking at the art. It's a single on a phone screen nowadays, and you can still find a lot of that stuff, but it's just not the same. And you're right, it's no fault of them. It's no fault of theirs. It's just the way the world went. You can put all this stuff in your pocket now and make phone calls, but it was something to go to the record. So like, we're getting out of school, we're gonna go drive to Bull Moose in Portland. Maybe we do it during school and buy a record because we know it comes out. It's Tuesday, and put it in the CD player like that, and look at the booklet and sit in the parking lot. Like that's just what we did.
Yeah. The CDR doesn't have the allure, or even just there's really nothing to reference. It's not like we're like listening to a CDR and like going online to like read about it. You're just like, it's in the CD player or it's not, so move on. So yeah, that was my kind of take on this out of the gate, which is unfortunate. I wish I got it right when it dropped in March, but in 03. You
should have been hanging out with us more, Nate.
I know, fuck. Wrong crowd.
Because the Ataris were a band in our circle.
Yeah.
You guys remember Steve M, right?
Yep.
He was a big like heavy music guy and a big punk guy. And this must have been freshman year, maybe 8th grade. I don't know. Do you remember the Fat Music for Fat People comps from Fat Records?
Oh yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
He had that, and I think that's what kind of got me into like the skate punk stuff. But Fat Records also had the short music for short people comp. And the Ataris were on that. Of course, yeah, it makes no fucking sense. The Ataris were on that. It had like 100 fucking bands on it. Ataris were on it, and the song "The Radio Still Sucks." Remember that song? Mm-hmm. I'm really fucking sick of back in 311 in Marilyn Manson. I wish someone would kick his fucking head. And what about Bush and lame ass Oasis? All right, I'm done. The whole song's like a minute long, but I loved him from that, and that was
nice.
99, 2000. I don't know. I have to look it up, but
yeah,
I love that fucking song.
Speaking of wrong crowd, I think I was hanging out with Steve M during this 2003 era, so I'm surprised at it. Maybe I got it from him. Maybe I burned it off him.
He might have moved on from them at that point, because you got to remember that was like 99, 2000. Blue Skies was it was 99. And then there was another album in there, which End Is Forever, I think, was in there, and then the major label debut, 03.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did see them. I saw them in 01, Warped Tour. So there was hype. I think there was hype collectively.
They didn't come to Maine, right? So I don't think I ever saw them.
I don't think they ever played Maine.
Yeah.
I think they came to Maine later.
Late.
Rob has a picture.
The Asylum.
Yep.
Late, like in the last, maybe late 2000s and in the last like several years. Okay. But not in this era. Definitely not in this era.
They were too big to play Portland at that point. Yeah. But I mean, it certainly takes me back to, doing all the things that I said previously, where we get in the car and go to the store and buy it, and then we just cruised around our hometown, whether it be driving to the beach or driving to the convenience store, because like we were 18 or 17, like we didn't have anywhere to be or anything to do but hang out and listen to music. And shoot dice in the alleyway. Like we were just being idiots.
This is true. Yeah, we did
wrestling on the beach and listening to the Ataris. Like that's just what we did. So it was a good time. I mean, I look back on those times very fondly, and this album is for me, it's a record that gives me a nostalgic feeling, but I think it's also about nostalgia. I think Chris is saying a lot about nostalgic things for him and just generally speaking. So, it scratches that nostalgia itch for sure.
It's funny. Like I've gotten more in the habit of just writing words and like sentences when we do these. And one of my sentences is nostalgia inception, because I'm nostalgic for that time.
Yeah.
And then I remember how I felt in that moment, thinking of what you just said, Tony, which is the whole album's about nostalgia, the fucking Goonies. Like, so in like 20 years, when we do a retro on this night that we're talking, it'll be a triple dose.
Nostalgiaception. Yeah. I mean,
remember that time we talking about the album?
Yes, I do. It was a lot of fun.
About the times that they were talking about times.
Yep. Absolutely.
Ooh. Yeah. Wow, what a trip. Life really is a simulation. Proves it.
Yeah, you're damned to repeat everything. But this maybe the question is good now, because nostalgia is a big piece, but I have a question for you about nostalgia at the end of the episode. Let's do a little more about the music, the record, what it meant to us, songs we liked, all that stuff. But so we all gave our early intro, what we saw, what we felt in the moment. Twan, you saw him live. I'm a little surprised that So Long Astoria was never a single. That was a thing that kind of struck me in listening back to this and remembering how much I loved that album opener. Like, such a great album opener.
It's the perfect album opener. There's no better song on the album that they could have opened with. Title track, and that'd be another study of like how often, when there are title tracks, how often they're number one. But it would have been a great single, because it sums up the spirit of the whole album. Literally. I mean, and you got to remember, at this point, we're 18 years removed from the Goonies. So, I don't know, what's that equivalent now? Something in 2007? That's weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it would. Yeah. Right?
What was a big, like, movie in 2007? I couldn't even tell you. It's Superbad.
Yeah. Right around there. Yeah. Yep.
It'd be like a band now dedicated an album to Superbad.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Yeah, who saw Superbad when they were like 6?
Yeah, McLovin's an old dude now.
He's a musician now too. We could see if we can get him on. Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Yep.
Nice.
But yes, I'm with you. I'm all in on the track. Perfect opener. Why don't you think they did?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want the Goonies stuff. I don't know. I mean, you writing about the Goonies stuff. Like you take Mouth's line, right? Like, which I love. I love that use of it at the end of the song. I don't understand it. It also, listening to it, I think it could have been the closer too, and also fit as the closer.
Totally.
As good as it is as an opener, I think it's where it's supposed to be, but it could have also been the closer.
If it was the closer, it might have been pulled for a single. I feel like having it be the opening track
you're going to get it. Everybody's going to get it, right?
Bit of deferent. But yeah, I agree. It would have been a great single. High tempo, good energy. It's one of those songs that puts you in a good mood right out of the gate. So I don't know. It's tough. We have to ask the band. Figure out what the fuck
maybe
happened.
Someday.
Well, the thing is, like, not only is this like an intro to the theme of the record, it's the intro to like the polish of the album, like the kind of the skate punk early vibe of their band is gone. What's the chorus of the song? Life is only as good. Yeah.
Memories we make. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
And I think this is the opener. I think this is the clear opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. It works. So Long Astoria. I found a map to buried treasure. I mean, you've got me hooked right there. You've got me at 17. You've got me at 42. You know, like whatever. I wanted it all the time because I remember that time and remember that movie and remember that feeling of that being like one of the first movies I loved. Now I've got a song that kind of lives up to it. It's awesome.
Fucking perfect. It's like product placement. Like we're hooked on the Goonie thing alone, let alone it's fucking obviously standalone music. But you got us at Goonies. We're all fans, obviously. So motherfuckers did it.
Exactly.
He did it.
To me, that was a cheat code.
100%. Sure.
Yeah.
Because at that time, I will admit this. I had not seen Fight Club yet in 2003. I didn't see it until college, which is weird. So at this time, I think The Goonies was my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And Fight Club's up there. It's one of them. Maybe we'll do a movie episode sometime.
Yeah, we'll do it on April Fool's Day.
In other words, hell no.
Maybe. I mean, you never know. I'm with you. That movie for a lot of years was either my favorite movie or right there, and may still be. It's a top 3 or 5. I'd have to think about it, but I love that movie, and it's the nostalgia piece. It just goes back to that, and remembering it, watching it as a kid, remembering it. We had a tape. My mom had, I think she recorded it off TV for me, and that's how I had it initially, and then bought it for us when she could. But at first, she was like, "Oh, it's on. I'm just gonna record it for the kids, so we have it already." And then we went from there. But yeah, great movie, great song, great opener. We don't have to go track by track per se, but I think it's a good one that we definitely had to hit.
So we hit nostalgia, and I've always loved Chris's lyrics, but like this, and I'm just jumping around. Like we talked about the opener. I'm going to talk about lyrics now. Like Chris's lyrics, because you got to remember, I'm younger than you guys. You guys are old fucks. But like in the moment,
shots fired. Holy shit,
man!
You're only like 8 months younger than me, bro.
Yeah. Joined as always by Nate. I'm out.
I'm joined never anymore. But like in this moment when this came out, I was 17. So for the other albums, I was 13, 14, 15, and you had The Radio Still Sucks, Your Boyfriend Sucks, like Last Song I Ever Write About a Girl. Like it fit all that, and it was angry nerd rock is a fucking song on one of the albums. This album was definitely a departure. It was lyrically, it was more mature. It was almost like journal entries. You know what I mean? I could see these, and
in this diary, you say?
In this diary. It's funny. I didn't even make. I made that connection, not even thinking of that.
Subconsciously.
So that proved subconsciously, yeah. But
the first single, February of 2003. Yeah, it's definitely a more polished sound. The lyrics are more adult than earlier on in their career. Not that those are bad. I love both, but
love is wrong and girls are fucking evil. Like we love.
15-year-old me is like, yeah. 40-year-old me is like, that's a little tough. But it is what it is, right? Like we love the band, and it's, you go through those phases as whether you're a teenage boy or a teenage whatever. Like you have those moments where you need to get some of that angst out, and then you mature and grow up and write stuff like this, and for this to be their major label and have so many people hear it, it was a perfect time for that.
When you said the journal entry thing, it just made me think like it is very personal to Chris. So it's almost like, and I'm just gonna say it, like this is kind of Chris's band. It could almost be like a solo project, solo thing with a backing band, because it's really centered around him, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's different than like everything else in the scene where it's truly a band. Like call it Jimmy Eat World or something like that, even though Jim Atkins is the singer, so whatever that is. But this really is his band. Fun. So now I'm kind of like, chasing my tail. But what I'm trying to say is I think it is really his work, in that what you said with the journal entries, like he probably brought it to the table and he's like, hey, I got this music. Like I need a band to do this. Because it seems like it really is kind of his vision. I could be wrong there, but it's just based on what you said, it's kind of what I got to.
I think lyrically for sure. I think you're right. Yeah. Don't gloss over the fact that Nate was just chasing his tail either. Like, you have a tail,
well,
bro?
The Jimmy Eat World thing was like a bad pull. I was like, well, it is Jim Atkins.
I didn't know you had a tail. That's really what
Hey, if I had a tail.
Yeah, that's a Queens of the Stone Age reference. There you go.
Yeah. Drink.
But yeah, we've talked about this same idea a million times, but they are one of those bands that grew as we grew, right? It was the Blink-182, like, what, fucking Dick Lips and all that, and then it goes to self-titled, and I'm like, well, I'm an adult now and I have a fine taste in music. I'm going to appreciate this. I think that happened with this, where it was you're 18, 19, maybe you don't think like love is wrong, girls are fucking evil anymore. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know. But you could, on the flip side of the coin, you could still have nostalgia there, so it kind of lived in both worlds, and the lyrics were very personal to Chris, but I think they were vague enough that you could appreciate them. Like Anderson is cold tonight, Portland is cold tonight. Like it could. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I didn't realize they were from Indiana, I think, until doing this exercise.
I didn't know until now.
Anderson. I thought they were a West Coast band all day long.
They feel like one, that's for sure. The sound, I mean, that's the big piece, right?
cruising down Pacific Coast Highway. I mean,
yep, cruising down Pacific Coast Highway. Yep. So I'm gonna go back to In This Diary and the chorus: "Being grown up isn't half as fun as growing up. These are the best days of our lives." Oh, okay, like 15, 16, 17-year-old me doesn't understand that's awesome.
Yeah.
But likes it because it's catchy. 26-year-old me, Chris was 24, 5, 6 when this. I think 26 when this came out, but 24, 5 probably when he wrote it. At that point in my life, when I was 24 or 5, like, oh yeah, being grown up isn't half as fun as growing up. This sucks. Like, can I go back to being 18? Like, what the fuck? And now that I'm 40, I'm like, I get all of it, and I, in a better spot as you age and you figure stuff out, mature. But that line still hits today, and it's hit a bunch of different ways over the course of my life.
It's a monster chorus, and that, as we say, brought a lot of people into the tent because they led with this. Right. They didn't lead with Boys of Summer, which brought even more people. But catchy chorus, great lyrics, and no one heard this because it was before we started recording. But lighting fireworks in parking lots. I mean,
Yep.
Oh yeah. Been there, done that.
Or in the middle of the street.
Breaking into hotel swimming pools. I mean, let's go.
I did that too.
Wow. Yeah. Huh. That's weird. Indiana, Maine had some similarities.
We did a lot of the same shit. So this was made for us, obviously. I mean, right there.
So In This Diary was the first single. I always like to ask this, especially when it's a major label debut. Was there any acknowledgement or any buzz that they sold out?
I don't recall, but again, I was somewhat a late bloomer on the band
because it is a departure. No matter how you slice it, like you go from The Radio Still Sucks to songs like The Saddest Song and Radio Number 2. Yeah. I mean,
Well, and you cover The Boys of Summer, which is a massive hit on the radio. So I don't remember there being any. I bet there was. The internet wasn't what it was in 2003. What it is today. So had they had their trajectory and then put that out today and it was like this polished, major label, they probably get a little more hate than they maybe, and maybe they got it. I don't know. It's a question that we could maybe ask Chris down the line, but there probably was some. I don't remember it. I also wasn't, there day one when they were early on.
Yeah, it's always a fascinating question because they had been a band for 6 or 7 years. So if you're a short music for short people, truther, or
short music for fat people,
short music for fat music for short people, whatever. If you came from that world and maybe that skate punk and that Kung Fu Records world, you might be out. And I know we asked the same question on the Phoenix TX episode. You know what I mean? It might be a bridge too far type of thing. I don't know. Maybe if I was older in the moment, I would have thought that. But we were younger where, like, we were rooting for NFG on TRL. I was rooting for Korn on TRL. Yeah. So, like, what it meant for us in Maine is the bigger they got, the better chance we had to see them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So you're rooting for them.
That's so funny, dude. That's a really good call because that is how it worked for us. Secondary market. Like, well, now they get the touring support to actually get to a place like Portland, Maine. But something that you said about the Boys of Summer, I remember working in Portland at the Fish Pier and with the old grumpy ex-convicts, and they were pissed.
Allegedly.
They were pissed when this song would come on CYY, covered by the Ataris. Like, who the fuck do they think they are, like, trying to cover this song and changing the lyrics for that? Those fuckers. Yeah. And I remember thinking, okay, well, that's that's the older crowd. I get it. For me, this is my generation. I fucking think it's rad as hell, especially with the black flag sticker on the Cadillac. I thought it was the coolest. If you're gonna change anything, that's the one thing to change. So yeah, it's a departure from what you're asking. Like, do you think it was what were you saying, like a sellout move or too much of a stretch from where they started?
Yeah, it's actually coming from a place of curiosity because the only way you would know that is if your friend group, and this is another context of the time, is if your friend group, there was buzz because there was no internet. Or it wasn't the way, it was different internet, folks. But I would just wonder, because there's literally a book called Sellout about bands jumping to major labels. You know what I mean? Yep. And I never got it. To me, this was a level up. The production was slick. Chris's lyrics got better. The songs are crisper. They're not putting out songs like Saddest Song on those other albums. I don't know. This is them at their most dialed.
Yeah.
At their best, I think.
Yeah. I would agree. It's my favorite record by them. Need to spend some more time with I mean, the new song that they just put out this year is awesome. Like it brings me back to that time. Like it's right,
100%.
You know, it's a similar vibe feeling, right back to kind of the roots of this record. So I'm right there with you. I don't remember it being terribly negative, but they got massive and on the back of an amazing cover. Do we want to talk about the cover? Should we jump into how big that got? I mean, it was fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
You couldn't escape it.
It's CYY played it. Did CYY play In This Diary?
I don't remember them playing anything but
Boys of Summer.
Boys of Summer, yeah.
But yeah, at this point, that In This Diary shot him up to the 5th floor. Boys of Summer shot him to a penthouse. Like, I don't know what cap rooms they were playing in the peak of it. Like, I have the DVD live at Capitol Mill or something.
Nice.
So like they reached DVD live show level in this era, because it did come from that era. It's the same branding as So Long Astoria. Is that how you remember? You guys remember how big they got from this?
It was absolutely the Boys of Summer that kind of catapulted them all over the place. Because I think a lot of radio stations were playing that cover because it fit a lot of different places, right? It wasn't just on your alternative rock radio. It hit some of the hits of today type of stations because of how big the song got. It was and it was a well-known song. Everybody already knew all the words because Don Henley's version, which is on our perfect songs list. I think Rob picked it on the second.
He did. Yes, he did.
The second perfect songs episode we did. Rob brought that song in, so they do it justice. I think the cover is awesome, and I love that they only changed that one little bit to Black Flag. That's awesome. Like all of it is perfect for what it is, like what they did to the song. They're very true to it, but also make it an Atari song, I think, for the most part.
I actually forgot, speaking of like the times again, like how the machine worked back then. Like you were popular, you were in heavy rotation, not just in rotation, and your crossover to like, I don't know, top 40 maybe in this case, because it was already a cover. And hey, this could go on the pop station. Fuck it, why not? So then you really are in everyone's face and everyone's ears all the time, and you're getting crossover crowds that probably never even heard of something like Warped Tour. Like, oh, it's fucking awesome. This is a great song. Oh, and they're cute too. You kind of get everything and everyone, all the teeny boppers and stuff like that. So I totally forgot how that was. Obviously Rob being part of that machine back in the day, where if you're in heavy rotation, you're already in good standing. If you're crossing over to like, what was it, Q97 or whatever. The Q.
You're so right, Nate. There were, as they say, there are levels to this shit. Like,
yeah, it's just more market share, really, at the end of the day.
It hit number 10 on Billboard Pop Airplay.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. It hit number 18 on Adult Pop Airplay. Like, it was everywhere. It wasn't just, it was number 2 on Alternative, so it was massive there, but it was big. It was 20 in the Hot 100. Like, it was a big song.
I mean, the company that they're in to do that crossover is like early Maroon 5. Like, CY might have played early Maroon 5 in that. Like, it's rare, and you're in an elite company. A lot of bands, most bands do not even sniff that.
Mm-hmm. Well, because that stuff's pay to play. When you're in top 40, that's pay to play. So if you're crossing over to pay to play territory, you're bumping out Britney Spears at that point. Like, that's been paid for years in advance. You really can't just take that spot right now. Are you kidding me? And then everything else that goes along with that. I don't know if this song was on soundtracks or anything like that, but definitely like as a bumper and on MTV for the reality shows and stuff like that. Like, you're just everywhere all the time,
We're digging in another track here. A song that's a fucking goddamn anthem. Summer 79. All-time song. And I remember thinking this back then, and I thought about it again in, prepping for this. Whose perspective is he writing this from? Because he's not old enough.
Yeah,
he's not old
same
enough.
thing.
I've always thought about this. But it's funny, like, when I listen to this song, again, he's such a great storyteller and songwriter. Like, in my head, I always like pictured like a Fast Times era, like, visual in my head. It just his lyrics paint such a picture for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Anthony. Like, who is this from the perspective of? Because he's not old enough to have been, doing all the things in the song from in 79, right? He would have been 10 years later, to be able to do all that stuff, or 12, 15 years later even. So it's a good question, and I love that. I mean, it kind of shows the ability to write songs that maybe aren't necessarily yours, like your lived experience, and still put out a pretty amazing song. So pretty cool that he's able to pull that off here, and it's a great song. Like, and it gives you that more of that nostalgic play and that, like, the scratching that maybe he thought some people who like the original Boys of Summer are going to check the record out and, oh, I remember all these things. I used to do these things too.
Hey, my best friend likes you. I hear you shout as you go skating by. I mean, it just brings you back.
We did that. I'm Happy Wheels. I remember Happy Wheels.
Let's go.
He must be like a movie buff guy. Obviously the Goonie reference, but there's a deep cut note that I wrote down that, and I don't know, he did solo shows. I guess like solo acoustic shows. He would intro the show as like the prequel song. So that kind of alludes to, maybe his frame of reference in writing the song was like, it's not about my personal experience.
Well, I mean, they have off Blue Skies, the San Dimas High School Football Rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a movie guy, and I think he's a nostalgia guy. And guess what? I'm in.
Yeah, it worked for me. It worked for us. Absolutely.
Sold to the nostalgia pod.
So I'm going to jump in. Another track, Saddest Song.
Amazing.
A song they couldn't have written until then. Maybe not. Introduces piano. The acoustic version is phenomenal.
Do you like the acoustic version better?
I think I do.
See, I don't. I like the piano.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they're both great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, is the piano not in the acoustic?
No, it's acoustic. There's no piano.
There's no piano as well. Okay.
And I think the piano hits. I think that's why.
Oh, the piano hits.
Yeah, they're both great. The song is great, so it works in a bunch of different forms. But I like the OG just because I think the piano is kind of sad, and it's the saddest song, so it should be.
Good point. Yeah, piano carries the sad kind of empathetic feel. Yeah, no matter what, in any context, really.
And sad chorus, but great chorus. Like another catchy. I've been singing it all week in prep for this. Like, it just keeps coming up. I think I've texted it to you guys. Like, it just keeps happening in my head. I remember waiting, over and over and over again. So great song.
And this is another one. Maybe you guys know, but I don't know if he's writing it from his perspective. Like, it would allude that he has a kid that's 5, right? He'll be turning 5, which I don't know. It's also none of my business either. But either way, it shows the brilliance, whether it's lived experience or it's from someone else's perspective.
Yeah, if you could pull this song off from your lived experience, it's an amazing song. If you can pull the song off as just a writer of a story and then pull it, sing it well, another amazing thing. So either way, I'm right there with you. It's fucking phenomenal that he could do that in whatever vein it came from.
And I did cover this in this era on bass, and someone else sang.
I've heard it. It's great.
You've heard a snippet. There's audio that still exists. It will not come out. So don't get too excited.
I have.
Oh, Tone's gonna leak it.
Blackmail, baby.
Tone's gonna leak it to the Patreon.
I won't leak it, but it's cool, and it's because the song's really good that you guys sounded as good, because the song's phenomenal.
It's not because we said
it's not because no. Sorry, no offense. It was cool to listen to. I was like, it's amazing you still have this, because it's what, 20 years old, 21 years old.
22.
You have that?
Yeah,
it's crazy that you have that still. So,
any other tracks?
I like takeoffs and landings.
Dude, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, that one's got a good energy song too, coming out of the first song. More of that kind of driving, straightforward rocker, but it fits right in this spot. I mean, the first 5 or 6 songs on this record just kind of come at you in an awesome way. Like this one's really good, In This Diaries. Then after that, and then My Reply is really good. Like, just good stuff to start the record and kind of grab your attention. But I like Takeoffs and Landings too.
It continues the pace of Song Astoria, and I think that's a great 1-2 punch. I mean, they're side A tracks all day.
Yeah, I think we've talked about just like travel in general and like music that you listen to when you're in a plane or a train or whatever. It's different because it's kind of the only thing you're paying attention to. But I'm speaking for myself, but I think we've also talked about, that kind of, again, like another diary entry. Like, what are you thinking about when you're traveling? Well, you have a lot of time to like ponder. So this song is literally about that, about traveling in a plane, basically on tour, which is, self-reflecting, and then on the record. So you kind of almost living Chris's life vicariously, which is always interesting. You got to get a little inside peek on what's going on.
Love that track. Deep cut that I love, looking back on today.
Dude, I was just looking for that. Yes. I'm right there.
Me, you know why I think we love it? It feels like a Blue Skies era song. It feels like it. The vibe. It's got not the vocals, but the music is a little fast, kind of faster paced. and it's, I don't know, he's just so specific with his lyrics, and like even the lyrics and the writing remind me of something he would have written in that era. So that was always like, and I think we talked about this exact same thing with Phoenix TX with Abba Zaba. Like there's deep cuts that are kind of throwbacks, which again, who knows if it the drink after I say this, the intentionality of it, who knows? You know, a lot of these, as we say, are just, it's just the way it worked out. But to me, that was always a throwback song. I'm
trying to find and I can't find it. I had it 3 days ago, and I can't find it now. I think that's the song that's about his relationship with his wife.
Okay.
I think, if it's not, my bad, but I think that was the one, and I was like, that's pretty cool. That's the only one like about a relationship that maybe he had, if I remember reading that correctly. So I'd have to check it, but
I think it might be. There's reference to Denise.
Yeah.
Like there's someone named.
Yeah. So I think so, but I'm still gonna keep looking for it to make sure that I'm fact checking correctly here. But I think that was the one, and I was like, this cool. It's cool that there's this song on here too.
And then, of course, they re-record "I Won't Spend Another Night Alone," which was always one of my favorite Atari songs. And I think they did it justice with this one. It's always a risk to do that. Like A Loss for Words did that with Half Step Down off Kids Can't Lose, you know, and I liked the original version better, you know. And this one, I think they go toe to toe, but it is a risk, and I always wonder the why. You know what I mean? Was it the song's 14 songs? They, you know, it's not like they were itching and scratching for more songs. I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And it could have ended on 8 and 9. That would have been a, you know.
Yep. I'm not sure why that ends up happening. I mean, sometimes it makes sense to me, and it's okay. We have more bells and whistles in the studio. Let's see this song through the way that I wanted to originally and couldn't do it, and now I can. And sometimes it's money. You know, sometimes it's a band wanting to reclaim something that's theirs, or an artist wanting to reclaim something that was theirs and lost to, you know, a bad deal. But early on in careers, I think it's probably the former. It's probably they're like, we can now do this the way I wanted to do this.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation, but you basically nailed it on all the different variables, because a lot of the time it is just a lineup change or whatever, royalties. Let's re-record it so we can basically fuck the old guys. But bells and whistles is a big one, especially if there's a vision there and they weren't
able to do it. Yeah.
Weren't able to do it. Yeah, and they can kind of do it now. So,
or you know, sometimes you just are bored and you want to re-record shit, right? Maybe Anthony will re-record the Saddest song and put it out for the world.
I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. What?
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked some tracks. I think, talking about the whole record, I think this is Chris's best vocal performance. This proved he wasn't just a skate punk, you know, Kung Fu Records band level singer. Like, he can actually sing. And I think this is his best performance, because I don't know if you guys know the album after this, Welcome the Night.
I need to, it's been a long time since I've listened to that, and I don't remember much about it. So that's something that I want to dive back into in the next couple of weeks, just to like do a little more nerd homework.
It'll be fun for you, because it is a complete departure. It is like some 90s alt throwback stuff. There's clearly some Cure, a lot of Cure influence vocally.
Speaking my language.
But the reason I bring that album up is you can't even really tell it's Chris. The vocals are very different, very, very different. And so like the leap from the punk records to this is huge. And I think this is like Chris at his peak vocally. Amazing performance. And then Welcome the Night fits that record perfect. It's not a negative. It's just an observation where it's just completely different, and it actually fits the music. But vocally he nails it. I love, what's the song where he's like, I'll never be the same without you. Hero Dies in this one, where he gets a lot of like, he gets kind of aggressive, and there's some rasp in the vocals. It just showed he could do both. He could do the polish. He could still do the old stuff. But shout out to Chris on this one. He nailed it.
That's awesome. A great title for a song too. Yeah. The Hero Dies in this one. I mean, that's more of that kind of nostalgia-y stuff and movie stuff too, right?
Absolutely.
I'll have to check that out too. I don't even think I've ever listened to that record, but I always appreciate that versatility, especially when it's not even a sellout movement. It's just showing the fact that this guy's got, you know, not only range, but options and different tastes to
you nailed it. It's
to make a different record. Yeah.
It just wants to do something different. I love that. Yeah. I wish And we've talked about this with artists. We've talked about this as the three of us. We've never, I don't think we've ever been anti-artists trying to do new shit. Mm-hmm. But some people aren't, man. They like lose their mind if you don't do the thing that they like you doing, you know? Like, make another So Long Astoria, Chris. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. That's cool. I can always come back to that. Like, I'm not in need of being the same every time, but some fans can get really upset about that shit. I like artists taking chances. Like, do something different. Have some fun. See if it's something that sticks and hits.
For sure. Especially if it's genuine. I mean, I remember when Korn did like a Skrillex type. What was that music?
The EDM.
Yeah, the EDM thing.
Something of totality or something.
Yeah. And it was like, it just seems like a very forced, like this wasn't like a band decision at all, you know? And if it was, it's ridiculous. You're just jumping on a trend. That's a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, maybe stick to the Korn thing. Whereas this, we were talking about with Chris, it's like, well, he has that in his back pocket. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you? It's almost like Thrice. You can do like a different record every time. And
that's a great point because they are different on a lot of different records. You're right.
Yeah.
Again, broken record, Anthony here. I love that. I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, I don't want the director making the same fucking movie. I want chances taken because, listen, like at the end of all of it, you have this big, massive, expansive catalog. Not every band, but like a band like Thrice. I love that they did the Illusion stuff, and I love that they, did Visu and all that. Like, there's something there that fits every vibe I'm in. And with like Welcome to Night, Chris is like a My Bloody Valentine guy. Like, of course he's going to take some chance. He's not going to rewrite So Long Astoria. And I'm glad that we got those first albums. I'm glad that we got the Level Up album, and I'm glad he did what he wanted to do. And now, I don't know, that was like, 16 years ago? Like, that was the last full length.
Yeah, and we know they're in the studio because he's posted stuff, and there's a song out, and there might be more coming in, in the nearish future, which is exciting. And if it sounds like old, So Long Astoria stuff, I'm in. If it sounds like something different, I'm in to check it out. Like, it could all be, because Chris has got that stamp of approval from me. I mean, not that it matters, but I think we all, the three of us, are down to check out anything he's going to do because he's so fucking talented.
Want to talk legacy?
Yes, and then I have a question for you guys.
I think this record holds up massively. I've loved this record. Like, it's in that Phoenix TX Lechuza camp where it's outlived like so many fucking records. Like, I listened to this. Again, another one I'm shocked it took this long for us to do this type of thing. Love it. Holds up immensely. They're actually, I don't know if you guys saw it, they're doing a show where they're playing this thing front to back in Boston.
Right? Yeah.
In October at Big Night Live. I don't know the exact date, but like, there's at least acknowledgement from Chris in that camp that people love this. I mean, it's kind of an off-cycle thing, right? It's 22 years ago, right?
Yeah, right.
But I think it, pound for pound, this and Blue Sky, I think this takes the edge over Blue Skies, but it's like 1A, 1B. I love this record. I love the maturity. I love that. Even with all the bells and whistles, like, I think they kept the spirit of the band. And I don't know, I know there's been a lot of band member changes over the years. I don't know where this fit into all that, but I still think with Chris at the helm, they kind of kept the spirit of the band. Goonies, fucking nostalgia, like, I'm in, guys.
Yeah, I think it's one of those records too, like, when you think of like the year 2003, sometimes I'm like, not a whole lot of good shit came out that year. And then you see like the collage of like album covers from that era, and you're like, fucking damn, that came out. That's like one of the best records of that era. That's a defining record for that era. And that's what this is. And down to like what you said earlier about the album cover, it's a standalone. So
yeah, I don't have a ton to add to what both of you just said. It's exactly that. It's a record that I will come back to again because I still like it. It's a record that holds up extremely well, and I, look forward to listening to it again because it's got some fucking bangers on it. So I'm right there with both of you guys.
What percentage of the lyrics can you remember in a playthrough?
Oh man, this was less than Phoenix, but it was more than I remember. I had anticipated. I was like singing all of So Long Astoria and then all of Takeoffs, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I knew all these still. But it's in that portion of your brain from 2003 that spent a ton of time with it, driving around, going to the beach, hanging out.
It's a good question because in prep for the app, I don't think I had listened to the record for at least 5 or 6 years. It's been a while. So it's like one of those like, oh yeah, I remember this. And it hits like right out of the gate. It's one of those records, you're like, fuck, why was this collecting dust? You know, perfect fucking.
So many things to listen to, man. We got so much stuff behind us now, and stuff coming out new. I mean, we talk to bands about new records all the time, and we just did it the last couple of weeks. So that's the hard.
Well, that's why it's so impressive that we like these records permeate through all that. They still come back. A classic's a classic, and I think it's a classic.
Yeah. All right, I have a question for you guys to kind of wrap us, and we've been doing it, so I think I know where we all stand. But this is a record that is rooted in nostalgia. It was rooted in nostalgia when it came out, not necessarily for us. A little bit with the Goonies, right? But the rest of it, not necessarily for us. Now it's supremely rooted in nostalgia for us. Some people hate nostalgia. How do you guys feel about it?
Oh, come on. I mean, there's a camp where it's like, always move forward. It's always a Green Day, always move forward.
And going straight will get you nowhere. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, I get it. Move forward. But I mean, I'm going to quote Chris. These are the best days of our lives. Like for a lot of people, and everyone's experience is different. A lot of these like early memories were the best. You know what I mean? And you'll never recreate them. They were with people that you never forget. I think you guys know where I stand. Like half of this podcast is old records, and half of it's new.
Maybe more. Yeah,
maybe more. You know, and it's and we tend to lean that way because they're formative records for us, and they're records that we lived when we were the most tied into each other too. So it's a kind of a double hit there. But I don't know. It's tough to like diss people that because maybe there's a valid reason why they hate it, and there's stories for that. But if you had a good experience, yeah, relive it, man. Relive it.
Yeah, there's no nostalgia for shitty experiences, right? I think the people that are the anti-nostalgia are. I'm not
too cool for school.
Sometimes they're too cool for school. I would agree with that, and sometimes I think maybe they're just not people that enjoy people enjoying things. And
I think you're right.
And for me, I'm like, well, I like this shit, so I want to talk about it still. And we have built this thing that allows us to talk about stuff on a weekly basis, whether it be the three of us or with some of these bands that put some of these amazing records out. We've done that numerous times, and it's allowed us this like playground to play in that probably we never thought we'd get to play in, right?
Agreed.
So I'm all in on that too. But like I said, we don't have to be nostalgic for shitty times. Be nostalgic for the happy stuff, you know?
Yeah, I don't know why it's such a polarizing thing, really. And when you think about it, you have more time spent in the past than you do in the future. Obviously, it's a very blatant statement, but like, you know, we've done 2 futuristic episodes, maybe 3.
Most of it, no one listened.
And nobody gave a shit, right?
Most of it's callback.
Where were you anti-nostalgia people then?
But when you think of it, a lot of it's callback. For me personally, it's not even intentional. I just happen to collect a lot of shit. So I don't really have much of a choice. It's just here in storage in 4 different locations, if I count you guys. 5 maybe. So yeah, you look back on it and there's a lot of fond memories, and even the shitty memories are still nostalgic. And sometimes it's a release. It's like almost closure in a lot of ways. So you really can't knock it. And movies are all based on the past for the most part. So anyone that's knocking nostalgia is out of their fucking mind. Everything's nostalgic. History.
Well, it's fun. It's funny because you're absolutely right, Tony. Like when we were young, this last one, that was a whole nostalgia. I mean, when we were young, literally,
it's Sick New World was too.
Yeah. And it's bands that were popping in that era, and they were all bands that were playing through the old albums. Yeah. And you know what? If you're hating on that, you're a loser. I mean, you really are. No, you are. Because for a lot of people, going to see those and listening to these albums, it's the closest thing you will ever get to those feelings that you got back then. And I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah.
And I guess what it comes down to is being grown
isn't half as fun as growing up. And hey, if you've made it to this point in the episode and you're an anti-nostalgia person and Anthony just called you a loser, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you. Hopefully you come back next week. I don't know what we're talking about then. So it could be an old record. It might be a new band.
Yep. Got you, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
It's also a throwback to what? Chappelle Show.
That's Chappelle Show, yeah. Which is also great. I love those days.
You're too nostalgic, man.
Hey. In my blood. What can I do?
I got an advice for you guys, and then we're out. Lay off the nostalgia sauce. See ya.
Peace, podheads.
Nostalgia. Cheers, nerds. Drones.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all over the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.